Okay, so Peter, obviously, yeah, you recently re-secured your Southern Area title in the bantamweight division, and we are going to talk about that performance because it was I was there at the York Hall, and it was great to see you reclaim that belt. But obviously, yeah, last night we saw Daniel Dubois KO Joshua in the fifth round. Were you watching that fight? And if so, what did you make of it?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm gutted. I'm gutted. I'm a huge AJ fan, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gutted. Um, yeah, he just seemed he didn't start off maybe just as sharp as I thought maybe he would. It seemed very relaxed, which I'm guessing he was trying to be maybe fast on his feet, whatever he was trying to do. I'm not too sure, but yeah, he just didn't seem sharp enough, and he got caught. And then from the first round, pretty much, it was all. It was all a waiting game then until he catches him again, and yeah, he did. So yeah, it's a shame.
Well, yeah, I mean, when he sort of rallied back in that fifth round, I was sort of expecting almost a pendulum to swing in his favour, but we didn't quite get to see that, annoyingly. I mean, you mentioned there that you're a big AJ fan. Where do you think he goes from here? Because I know Eddie Hearn mentioned potential rematch with Dubois. I mean, if that fight does materialise, do you think he could get revenge?
Oh, he's done it before, and he's done it with Andy Louis. The Louis when he lost. Obviously, couldn't really do it with Usyk, so he could give it a go again. But yeah, it's up to him. I guess how it feels. But it was a tough one. So yeah, it's a hard one. It's a very hard one. It's a tough sport and a tough division, and there's been a few knockdowns there, which seem pretty hard on him. So yeah, you have to be on him to see what he feels he done wrong that night, and if you could change anything.
No,
Uh,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Well, obviously, moving down to the bantamweight division, several divisions,
yeah,
no, the big boys. And yeah, obviously, as I mentioned before, it was great to see you reclaim your Southern Area title at the York Hall. Um, what was that moment like for you? Obviously, you've been a Southern Area champion before, reclaimed the belt. What did that kind of mean to you in that moment?
it meant a lot. It was put me back on the spot where I wanted to be. Obviously, after two losses, um, I was looking to get back out there, and I'm in the same position I was before now, looking to obviously fight for the English. So yeah, it meant a lot to get that win, and obviously with the Southern Area title, pushed me back where I was again. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And how did you sort of assess your performance in there? You're fighting Ben Lilly. It was a tough challenger in there. Um, and yeah, I mean, from most people's perspective, it was quite a close fight at times. But I'm guessing you felt as though you done enough to secure the win, right?
Yeah, I felt in control for most of the rounds. To be honest, I was obviously moving back, let him sort of him miss a lot, and then countering him with my own punches. And on the inside, I also felt pretty comfortable as well. To be honest, working the body, the uppercuts. So yeah, I felt pretty comfortable in there. He kept trying, but I felt really comfortable in there. I remember finishing the fight and just speaking to my trainer about it. I thought I gave away like about maybe two rounds. And my trainer thought the same. So yeah, thought I gave away maybe two or three rounds. But other than that, I felt in control. Yeah, I felt control the whole fight.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. And yeah, obviously, you mentioned their potential English title fight in the future. We'll definitely come on to that. But to be honest, I just wanted to ask you a little bit, Peter, about your story because I haven't really. I mean, I've tried to do a little bit of research before the interview, but I couldn't really find too much about your story, about your sort of early development in boxing. So I just wanted to ask, what was your initial introduction to the sport of boxing?
I started boxing when I was about 12. Um, I got introduced to it by my older brother who was boxing at the time already. I was playing football, so going to the boxing gym was just trying to keep me fitter and get me fitter for playing football. To be honest, so it was never really the fighting side of it. But yeah, as soon as I went in there, when I got to spar and stuff, it was yeah, I fell in love with it. I was very competitive, you know, in a football field and stuff. So when it came to boxing, the competitive side of it sort of came out even more because I was on my own, you know, on your own in the ring. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and sort of I left the football and then I sort of cracked on with the boxing, to be honest, and then yeah, never looked back since. I've had I think about 15 amateur fights. I had quite a bit of unlicensed fights as well before turning pro. Yeah, that's about it, to be honest, and never really looked back since I was 12.
No, that's really interesting to hear that you come from a footballing background because you hear that quite a lot now with fighters making the transition from football to boxing. And yeah, I just wanted to ask, is there any teams that you support either in the Premier League, or I know you've got a bit of a Polish heritage as well?
Yeah, I'm not really a big football fan, to be honest. I do follow a little bit, but yeah, I'm not really the biggest football fan. I said when I was 12 and 13, it was Man United that I sort of followed. So yeah, that's about it pretty much. But yeah, like most kids, I guess played football a lot. Um, and yeah, that's about it, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not the craziest football fan. I don't follow it too much.
Yeah, well, I think you said before this interview that is it one of your children plays a bit of football? They're playing today, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. He's only 4, but yeah, he's been playing for 2 years now. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice one. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, that's great. And yeah, I mentioned there briefly, but you've obviously yeah, you've got that sort of Polish heritage, right? And I feel like when I was at the York Hall, a lot of your fans in there, I saw like the Polish flag being flown, and I'm guessing that must be quite a proud thing for you, like to kind of represent a community in your chosen sport. I mean, is that something that you're quite mindful of when you step in the ring, that you're not only representing like people in this country, but also like Polish people, and you mentioned being a proud traveler as well. Do you almost feel that responsibility to kind of represent these communities?
Yeah, it wasn't enough to bring one flag. You didn't feel right to bring one flag, to be honest. So I brought all three. I brought all three with us. Yeah, because I represent all three. So yeah.
Yeah, no, no, I think that's great, and yeah, obviously I mentioned that the fans, they were all having your back in there at the York Hall. I mean, have you always been like quite a well supported fighter, or have you had to work hard to get that level of support?
So I've been in Southend, where I'm from for quite a while now, and then obviously I started off boxing here since I was 12. So there's been family and friends that sort of been supporting me since day one. So I'm really glad about the support, and yeah, it means a lot to me. They saw me sort of grow up and then do the amateur fights, do the pros, and yeah, they've been following me up since the beginning. A lot of people have joined the crew now as well, so I'm really happy about. Yeah, but I love the support. Yeah, it means a lot to me. It means a lot.
No, absolutely. And yeah, you mentioned when we were trying to arrange this interview, you mentioned that you've obviously got a day job, which a lot of people forget that about boxers. You know, like a lot of guys have a full-time job to contend with as well as doing the training and stuff. So I just wanted to ask, what is it that you do for a living outside of boxing?
I work in a school. I work in a school. So yeah, I'm at LSA helping out in a sport department. So yeah, that's my day job.
Nice, yeah, yeah. So, what would you say are the more popular sports? I mean, have you tried to integrate boxing in any of these classes, or is
Yeah,
it more sort
I
of
do,
like
I do, I do a little bit, but football is the sport, isn't it? Everyone loves the football. So um, yeah, football is the most popular sport. The kids love it. Oh, everyone wants to be a professional footballer. So you do get the few that sort of want to try out the different sports. Boxing is one of them, so they do tend to like it as well. But football is definitely still up there.
no surprises there? But it's good to hear that there is a bit of boxing flying about at the
Yeah,
school,
yeah.
which is nice. But no, I did want to ask because obviously we mentioned at the start of the interview the Anthony Joshua Danny Dubois fight, and actually on the undercard you had Josh Padley, who made a huge statement by beating Mark Chamberlain. And he said in his post-fight interview, he said, "Look, I had to take, I think he said 2 months off work for just so that he could make sure he would be 100% for that fight last night." So, I mean, for you, kind of in a similar position where you've got a job as well as your boxing career, I mean, how difficult is it to kind of train and be disciplined alongside doing that full-time job?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, but you know, it can be done, and many boxers do it. So you just gotta crack on with it and do the stuff in the morning, go work, and then do the stuff in the evening. It's not easy, but it can be done. Lucky enough for me, for the 6 weeks holidays, preparing for this one, I was off for 6 weeks. So yeah, I was at it the whole time. So which was fortunate enough to be in that position to. So yeah, it came out a good time.
Oh no, definitely. But I mean, has there ever been a time in your career where you might have had to take a bit time off work, or has that never come yet?
Yeah, we got two off. I could always take just to help me with the preparation and stuff. But other than that, I sort of try to work around as much as I can. Um, yeah, that's about it. To be honest, I'll try to work around as much as I can. Get the runs, get the sprints in the morning, off to work, and then off to the gym later on. Yeah,
Yeah,
not
no, I
easy.
mean it's a relentless existence in it, but I mean it's something that definitely yeah, produces good results as well, like we saw with you reclaiming your Southern Area title. And obviously that kind of moved us on nicely, because you mentioned earlier that you're eyeing up that English title, which I believe is held by Lewis Robert in the bantamweight division. So yeah, talk to me about that potential fight with Lewis Robert. I mean, do you think obviously he's undefeated, he's 11-0. Do you think that he's someone that you could possibly face in the maybe even in your next fight?
Yeah, I haven't seen much of Lewis, to be honest. Obviously, he's got a good record and he's an English champion, so he's definitely at a good level. Um, I know he's got a defense in November, I think it is. So I'm not sure if we can sort of fight this year. I'm sort of talking to Goodwin next week, so we'll see what the plan is. Maybe English eliminator, maybe defense. I'm not too sure exactly where we're going. But obviously English title is what I want to sort of aim for, and so does Steve. So yeah, we'll go from there. But I know he's sort of booked in for November defense. So yeah, sort of go from there. I haven't really seen much of him, to be honest, but yeah, I know he's a good fighter.
Well, no, I'm sure it'll be a great matchup. Obviously, you can't really go too far wrong when you got a Southern Area champ and English champ as well. I mean, with that English title specifically, obviously, without it just sort of being a next step up from area level, like what is it about that title that really kind of grabs your attention?
It's just another step up, isn't it? You know, I've won the area now. I've won the area twice now, so you just want to keep testing yourself and see how far you go. You know, the goal is to become British champion. So, I don't want to stop until I get it. And when the steps there, the next step will be English. So, gotta just challenge yourself and see how far you can go. I've worked hard. Like I said, I've been boxing since I was 12. So just gotta stay at it and keep going forward and see where it takes you.
No, absolutely. And you mentioned the British title there, which is obviously held by Andrew Kane, who's coming off that great win against Ashley Lane. And he's sort of branded himself quite rightly as this power punch of the division. I mean, I think he's got 12 wins, 11 KOs, which is almost like it's quite unusual for a bantamweight, really. What do you make of him as a fighter, more specifically? Just not necessarily as a future opponent, but how have you sort of rated his ascendancy to this level?
No, he looked good. I've only seen the Ashley Lane fight, to be honest. But yeah, he looked strong. He looked really good in there. Fair play to obviously Ashley winning the title himself. But yeah, it was a very good fight to watch. He looks really strong. Yeah, for the division, definitely.
Yeah, and obviously, let's say that's a fight that you potentially get in the future. Obviously, you mentioned one in the British title. I mean, what do you think? How do you think you'd approach that fight? That's maybe differently to Ashley Lane, where you can come out victorious.
Yeah, it's you guys said take one fight at a time. I'm still an area champion, so I'll take one step at a time. I'm not gonna sort of go over my head thinking, I can be the British champion yet. So yeah, English is next, and when we're in the English, we'll talk about the British then.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a competitive, very good fighter. So fair play to him.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it sounds to me like you've sort of got a nice plan as to where you want the next, maybe even couple years, what you want the next couple years to almost look like for with regards to your career. I mean, just on one sort of final note, because I'd like you to enjoy the rest of your day. But what is it that you kind of want to get out of boxing? I mean, obviously everyone mentions titles. You mentioned English title, British title, and the accolades are all great. But is there anything more to it for you that you really want to kind of where you want to finish your career and you can look back thinking, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, so titles are definitely one of them. Like winning the British title, like I said, it would definitely mean a lot to me. And after that, it's just I think getting the biggest fights you can be, being involved in boxing. Like Wembley. I mean, look at that. That show was great, wasn't it? To be a part of something like that as well will definitely be something on my hit list after. Um, but yeah, making as much money as well. Obviously, having a full-time job, doing both at the same time, it's not easy. So yeah, being able to make as much money as I can, win them titles, and just chasing the dreams. To be honest.
Well, I was going to ask, obviously, you mentioned how much the sport and your full-time job occupies your time. I know uh, you're actually well supported by your missus, I believe it was at your last fight, and you mentioned your son who's playing football. I mean, how difficult is it for you to make time for them as well as like the boxing and the full-time job?
No, it's very tough. Very tough. Yeah, I find that very tough to be honest. You got to just keep at it. With the boxing, knowing obviously you've got a fight coming up. Stay dedicated. But yeah, I find it very tough. And yeah, when the fights do finish, I like to give him some time as well. So gotta have the mix in between as well. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, very tough.
And your missus, is she like very supportive of your boxing career? Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt, I don't think I'll be here if she wasn't as supportive as she is. So fair play to her.
Oh, brilliant. Well,
Very, very grateful.
yeah. Well, no, I think we're all looking forward to seeing what's next for you, Peter. And again, congratulations on reclaiming your Southern Area title. But yeah, I mean, I'll
Yeah.
let you enjoy the rest of your day and hopefully speak to you very soon with hopefully a big fight in the down the line. So yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
no problem, mate. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. See
Cheers,
ya.
mate. Bye.
Okay, bye.